With breaking news hot off the press. Look like Caitlin Clark might be forced to not sign a CBA agreement and forced to participate in the 2026 WNBA lockout. Now, guys, I have to be honest, man. I'm hearing some things in the background with this whole CBA thing, and it's looking like, I just hate that I gotta say this, bro. It's about to be a lockout.
Caitlin Clark just publicly destroys the commissioner, and the WNBA might never be the same again. Tonight, something happened in this league that we have never seen before. Caitlin Clark didn't just answer a question. She walked up to a microphone on the biggest stage of her young career and publicly destroyed the very leadership that's supposed to protect her. And it all started with one sentence from another star. Days before Caitlin spoke, Nafisa Collier sat down for her own exit interview and dropped a bomb on the entire league. She said the commissioner told players they should basically be on their knees, thanking their lucky stars for the new media rights deal. She said Caitlin Clark should be grateful for making so much money off the court because of the WNBA platform.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $60 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
It wasn't just a slip-up. It sounded like a worldview. In one moment, the league's top executive went from face of growth to symbol of disrespect in the eyes of a lot of players and fans. Because what those comments really said was simple. You owe us. We made you. The reaction was instant. Fans lit up social media. Players quietly started liking and sharing posts. People who normally defend the league could not believe what they were hearing. Big-name analysts on TV blasted the mentality.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury. But it's a league that's at a flashpoint. Kathy Engelbert has got to do more than say she's disheartened in a press release. The commissioner needs to explain how it is that a player, such as Collier, could ever come to feel this way and seemingly be speaking for all of her peers. I admire that Collier had the temerity to say what she did. The failure to respond, directly would be making another statement entirely.
Some even went as far as saying the league is being run into the ground by the very people who are supposed to grow it. Then the union stepped in. The WNBPA released a statement backing Nafisa Collier as a respected leader who said out loud what many players have been feeling for a long time. They didn't throw her under the bus. They stood behind her and pushed the bus forward. And what did the commissioner do? She tried to clean it up with a careful, corporate-style response. She said she was disheartened by how the conversation was portrayed. She said she respects the players, but there was no clear denial, no real apology. No, I didn't say that. To a lot of people, that sounded less like leadership and more like damage control.
Kathy Engelbert needs to resign. I am disheartened about how Nafisa characterized our conversation at league leadership. That's all you've got? You gotta go. That's a weak response. I'm gonna say it one more time. That's a weak response. You are the commissioner of the league. This young lady, Nafisa Collier, who's been runner-up for MVP twice, who's clearly a face and a star in the league, who's universally respected, called you out. She said, essentially, you're dismissive. She talked about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and how your comments were that they were lucky to be in the league. They should be grateful for the money that they're getting. They should be on their knees thanking the... What? And that's the response that you give? What kind of defense is that? Was she lying? Kathy Engelbert?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was silent. She was hurt, dealing with an ankle injury, watching all of this happen while she sat on the sideline. The entire league was arguing about her name, her money, and her value. And she hadn't said one word. Everyone was waiting. Would she protect the commissioner, the person who's been front and center every time the WNBA wants to show off its new superstar? Would she dodge the question like so many athletes do? Or would she choose the players who have been taking hits for her all season, on and off the court? We got our answer the second she sat down for her exit interview. Caitlin started with the usual stuff. She talked about how much it hurt not to be out there with her team. She explained she'd been working around the clock to try to get her ankle right, and that she just couldn't move the way she needed to. No excuses, just honesty. But then a reporter brought up the storm. He asked about Nafisa Collier, about those comments, about whether Caitlin felt she owed her success to the WNBA and its commissioner. That's when everything changed. Caitlin took a breath and went straight to the heart of it. First, she backed Nafisa. She said she has great respect for Collier. She said Nafisa made a lot of valid points, and that this is a crucial moment where the league needs great leadership. Not just slogans, not just press releases, real leadership. Right there, she picked a side, and it wasn't the commissioners.
First of all, I have great respect for Fee, and I think she made a lot of very valid points. And I think what people need to understand, we need great leadership in this time across all levels. This is straight up the most important moment in this league's history. This league's been around for 25 plus years, and this is a moment we have to capitalize on. So that's honestly what I would say. I think Fee said it all with what she said, and I think the points she made were very valid.
Then, she went after the be grateful narrative without even raising her voice. Caitlin calmly reminded everyone that her brand didn't start in the WNBA. She talked about Iowa, about NIL, about signing deals with major companies long before she ever wore a Fever jersey. She came into the league with millions of fans, sold-out arenas, and massive sponsorships already behind her. In other words, she didn't owe the league her success. The league depended on hers. That one explanation quietly destroyed the idea that she should be on her knees thanking anyone in the league office for her bank account. She made it crystal clear. Players like her bring value into the WNBA. They aren't just borrowing it. But she wasn't done. Caitlin was asked if she'd heard about the alleged comments before Nafisa Collier went public. She said no. She found out the same way the rest of us did, through another player, in a press conference, in front of cameras. Think about that. The most important player in the league, the face on every billboard, the name in every headline, and the commissioner never picked up the phone. Caitlin also confirmed there has been no real conversation with the commissioner since those comments blew up. No personal apology, no meeting, no face-to-face talk, where the most powerful person in the league looks its biggest star in the eye and explains herself. For a lot of fans, that was the final straw, because in that moment, Caitlin didn't have to scream, she didn't have to rant. Just by calmly laying out the facts, she exposed a leadership team that wants credit for her success, but won't even give her the basic respect of a direct conversation. That's why people are saying she publicly destroyed the commissioner. Not with insults, not with cheap shots, but with the one thing this league can't ignore anymore: the truth. Since that interview, backlash has only grown. More fans are calling for change at the top. More players are quietly backing Nafisa and Caitlin. You can feel it, a shift from "we're grateful to be here" to "we deserve better than this." This is what makes Caitlin Clark's statement so historic. She is a rookie. She is still just getting started. And yet, in one interview, she stood shoulder to shoulder with veterans, backed the union, and challenged the power structure of the WNBA without ever saying the commissioner's name. She reminded everyone that without the players, there is no product. Without stars, there is no TV deal. Without respect, there is no future. So now the question is simple. Does the commissioner step up, own her words, and rebuild trust with the players? Or does she cling to power and risk losing the very superstar who dragged this league into the spotlight? Because after this, nothing goes back to normal. Caitlin Clark just publicly destroys the commissioner, and the WNBA has to decide whether it wants to protect old power or protect the players who are saving the league. If you're still watching, drop "Clark was right" in the comments so everyone knows exactly where you stand. And next, watch the video on your screen that breaks down how the WNBA front office already started losing control long before this explosion.
Finally, we don't need to listen to Amber Cox speculate about her health. We don't need to listen to Stephanie White speculate about her health. Straight from the horse's mouth herself, Caitlin Clark reveals she is 100% healthy, good to go, ready to go, back in action.
Caitlin Clark did not just play in a friendly pro-am. She walked into an LPGA event, and in one afternoon, she destroyed the golf world and turned a simple invite into a full-on takeover.
Well, we know it seems like whatever Caitlin Clark puts her mind to do, she can accomplish about anything, at least when it comes to two things, golfing and basketball. I mean, she's a natural athlete, let's be honest. And today was the Annika Pro-Am, and there's a lot of content that's come out of that.
Picture this: Pelican Golf Club, the Annika Pro-Am. The sun is out, the fairways are perfect, and the first tee is wrapped with fans like it is Sunday at a major. But they are not chanting for an LPGA legend. They are screaming for Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever. She is in a full Nike outfit, fresh hat, proper shoes, her own bag, her own clubs. No rental set, no casual hoodie, no, "oh, I will just hack it around for fun."
So Caitlin Clark is back golfing. She is back golfing for the first time in I don't know how long. But she's golfing. She's yeah, that's a positive thing. It's the Annika tournament which she played in last year. But this year is a little bit different. So let's take a look at all the clips from this so far. Jesus, it's pretty packed with her just on the practice range. Better swing than mine anyway.
From the moment she steps onto that tee, she looks like she belongs in this world. And here is the crazy part. Everyone online thinks this story is just about one viral putt. That huge breaker on 18 that blew up on social media.
Wednesday Pro-Am, here is Caitlin at the 10th.
Yeah. Looks like she was able to put into work a little bit of what Jamie was telling her. Release that.
We got Caitlin Clark walking down to the 18th hole. Wind blowing 14 miles an hour out of the northeast. A beautiful sunny day.
But that putt is only the surface. What really happened that day opened a brand new lane for Caitlin, and it should terrify the WNBA. Because while the golf world is rolling out the red carpet and treating her like Tiger Woods, her own league is still arguing about how much attention she is allowed to have. Let's start with the golf itself. The cameras cut to Caitlin on the 10th. The commentators are watching her swing, and they are not laughing, they are impressed. One of them says, "This is not a basketball player messing around on a golf course. This is someone who has been putting in real work." Her swing is smooth, balanced, and controlled. She releases the club properly, holds her finish, and walks after the ball like she has done this for years. By the time she reaches 18, the wind is howling, about 14 miles an hour in her face. Most celebrity guests would just be happy to get the ball somewhere on the green. Caitlin steps up, lines up a long sliding putt, and drains it with thousands of people watching.
I mean, this putt is unbelievable. Look at this freaking putt. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Caitlin Clark's got real talent, folks.
The crowd erupts. The booth loses it. This is not a sympathy cheer. This is a real golf moment. Right away, she destroys the lazy idea that she is just a hooper having fun. She looks like a legit golfer who just happens to be one of the best basketball players on the planet. But if Caitlin is the calm in this story, Sophie Cunningham is the chaos. Sophie and Lexi Hull are out there with her, rocking fever gear, acting as caddies and hype squad. Sophie grabs a club on the tee and goes full Happy Gilmore with a running start. She takes a wild swing, the ball flies, and a spectator goes down. Then 2 or 3 other guys drop to the grass too, all of them playing it up, just trying to get a moment, maybe even a hug from Sophie.
Guys, this is bad.
I haven't hit a golf club in months.
You got me. I would back up, and I'm not kidding. Kill this girl the last time I did this. Oh my god, this is so bad.
You got this.
This is making me nervous. Sorry. Yeah, guys, come on! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Shit, come on, guys. Is that bad?
Nope.
Oh no, oh no. You got it, bro. Happy Gilmore.
You didn't hit him. He just wants a hug. He didn't get hit. He didn't even get hit.
The internet goes crazy. People argue in the comments about whether he was really hit or just selling it. Clips of Sophie's swing and the injured fan are everywhere. It is hilarious, it is chaotic, and it proves something important. Sophie is great content. She is pure personality and drama. But Caitlin is something different. She is not viral because she is loud. She is viral because she is dangerous in any arena you put her in. And that is where Bryson DeChambeau enters the story. After that putt, after the coverage, after the crowd reaction, Bryson starts talking about Caitlin. He does not just say she is a good golfer, he wants her in his world. He invites her to play in his Internet Invitational in 2026. Now at first, that might sound like just another fun side event with some YouTubers and a trophy. It is not. Bryson's Invitational is a content machine. It pulls ridiculous numbers. On his channel, you see 2.1 million views in 2 days, 2.8 million views 6 days ago, 3.3 million, 4.4 million, 5.9 million over about 2 weeks. That is roughly 16 million views in half a month on one series, before you even count shorts or reposts. Those are not WNBA highlight numbers. Those are global creator numbers. So when Bryson says, "I want Caitlin Clark in this field," he is not offering her a cute cameo. He is offering her a direct line into one of the biggest golf audiences on the planet, an event with more than $1 million on the line, and a place beside some of the most watched personalities in the sport. Think about the contrast for a second. In the WNBA, Caitlin gets hacked, shoved, baited, and targeted night after night. Every game turns into a debate about whether she is overhyped, whether she deserves the calls, whether the league is doing too much or not enough. In golf, she walks onto the tee and they treat her like a main event. The cameras follow her. The commentators break down her swing. The crowd chants her name. And instead of trying to knock her down, the biggest names in the space are trying to pull her in. This is why people are starting to use the phrase Tiger Woods treatment when they talk about her in golf. The stage is smaller for now, but the pattern is the same. When she shows up, the energy changes. Now imagine you are Caitlin. On one side, you have the WNBA. It is the league you fought to reach, the league you are trying to help grow. But it is also a league that has been slow to fully embrace you, where your body takes a beating and your peak might only last until your early 30s. On the other side, you have golf and creator events, low contact, high money, huge exposure, and a career runway that can go into your 40s and beyond. Plus, it is something you clearly enjoy and take seriously. You can see why this Annika appearance is bigger than a highlight reel. On paper, it was a Wednesday Pro-Am. In reality, Caitlin Clark walked into an LPGA event and everything shifted around her. The gallery treated her like a superstar. Her teammates turned the fairway into a traveling fever show. She holed a huge putt on live coverage and proved she has real game. Bryson DeChambeau responded by opening the door to a 16 million view ecosystem and a 7-figure event. That is what a takeover looks like. She did not have to trash talk anyone. She did not have to beg for attention. She just showed up, played well, and let the numbers speak for her. So what does this mean for 2026 and beyond? No, Caitlin is not leaving basketball tomorrow. She is too competitive, too invested, and she still has so much to do with the fever. But she is also smart. She understands leverage. By building a real presence in golf, she gives herself options. More income, more security, more control over her long-term health and brand. And here is the awkward truth for the WNBA. The more other sports and creators open their doors to Caitlin Clark, the less power the league has to treat her like just another player. At the Annika, Caitlin proved something the whole sports world needs to hear. She is not just changing women's basketball. She can step into a completely different sport and own the moment in a single day. So I want to know what you think. Should Caitlin accept Bryson's invite and play more high-profile golf events? Or should she keep golf as a side project and focus only on the WNBA? If you are still watching, drop Caitlin Takes Golf in the comments so I know you made it to the end.
There she is, the woman of the hour, Caitlin Clark, arriving to Pelican Golf Club outside Tampa earlier this morning to compete in the Annika driven by Gamebridge Pro-Am for the second straight year. There you see Caitlin's Indiana Fever teammates, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull in caddy bibs, serving as honorary caddies out there.
They said the hype was over, that the injuries, the pressure, the non-stop spotlight had finally caught up with Caitlin Clark. For months, her name lived more in debate shows and comment sections than on any court. But on a quiet Florida morning, far from any WNBA arena, Caitlin walked onto the first tee at the Annika Pro-Am and gave every single doubter something they did not expect. This was supposed to be a casual hit-out. Smile for a few photos, hit a few safe shots, wave to the crowd, go home. Instead, it became her first real test since her WNBA season ended in July. No trainer's table, no minutes restriction, just a tee box, LPGA legends, and thousands of fans leaning over the ropes to see if the superstar still had it. You have to understand why this round mattered. Caitlin hadn't played in a true competitive setting for months. Groin and ankle issues shut her down. People questioned her durability, her focus, even whether the Caitlin Clark era had already peaked. Others complained that she was doing too much off the court, chasing appearances instead of locking in on her game. And yet here she was, invited back to one of the premier weeks in women's golf. The Annika, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican Golf Club. A serious LPGA stop, hosted by Annika Sorenstam herself. And now, a WNBA rookie, stepping into that world with every camera pointed straight at her. Her pairing said everything. Caitlin wasn't hidden in a quiet group on the back nine. She was with Nelly Korda, world number 2 and defending champion. Annika hosting, Golf Channel covering every swing, and right beside her, Indiana Fever teammates Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull in caddy bibs, turning a Pro-Am tee sheet into a mini WNBA reunion on grass. When she stepped up to that first tee, it was early, but it didn't feel sleepy at all. The gallery was packed with kids in Fever jerseys and Iowa shirts. Phones up, cameras rolling. This didn't look like a relaxed Wednesday. It looked like a mini major built around one player. Everyone wanted to know what that first swing would look like. Rusty, tight, nervous. Caitlin took the club back, turned through, and sent a solid drive into the fairway. On her very first hole, she hit the green in regulation. No fluke, no bailout. Just a smooth, controlled shot that said, the athlete is still very real. But it wasn't perfect, and that's the point. She left a long putt short, and you could see that competitive flash. This wasn't a happy to be here cameo. She was annoyed at the miss, even in a pro-am. The touch needed to come back. But the fire? That never left. As the round went on, the cameras caught something even more important. Caitlin wasn't just swinging away and laughing it off. She was learning on the fly. After a few tee shots leaked right, Nelly Korda's coach, Jamie Mulligan, stepped in with a bit of swing advice. Caitlin listened, talked about swinging too fast, trying to smash the ball, needing to slow down and trust the motion. On the very next tee, she hit her best drive of the day. Balanced, smooth, right out of the center. That tiny sequence said everything. Different sport, same elite wiring. She can absorb coaching in seconds, make an adjustment, and execute under pressure. Golf Channel even mentioned this was the first time since July she'd really felt that rush again. The focus, the adrenaline, the sense that people weren't just watching her, they were expecting something from her. On a golf course, with borrowed clubs, she still wore that same game face. But every big story needs one signature moment, and that moment came on the 10th hole. By then, Caitlin had stitched together plenty of solid golf. Fairways, greens, better pace on the putts. Respectable, steady, safe. But you don't become Caitlin Clark by being safe. She needed something that felt like a true highlight. Standing off the green on 10, she looked at a long putt and joked she needed to drop one so the crowd could go crazy. Call it confidence, call it pressure. Either way, she stepped over the ball, rolled it perfectly, and buried it. Center of the cup. The gallery exploded. It wasn't polite applause. It was a roar. Kids screaming, adults cheering, broadcasters laughing at how on-brand it was for Caitlin Clark to basically call her shot in a different sport and then hit it. In that second, the putt became the golf version of a logo 3. Same calm follow-through. Same easy walk to pick up the ball. Same look that said, yeah, I knew that was going in. Around her, the day kept feeding the camera's moments. Sophie Cunningham stepped up on a tee, swung hard, and accidentally drilled a fan in the gallery. Total chaos for a heartbeat. She rushed over, checked they were okay, signed a ball, hugged them, and turned a scare into a story they'll tell forever. Lexi Hull followed with a better drive, drawing cheers and smiles. These little scenes showed something deeper. They showed the chemistry of the fever outside of hardwood. They showed how much joy and personality Caitlin drags into every environment. This wasn't just a pro-am group. It felt like a traveling show built around her presence. And people inside golf noticed. Nelly Korda said that first tee scene felt like something out of a book. She talked about how crazy it was to see that many people out for a midweek pro-am just because Caitlin Clark was there. Annika Sorenstam spoke about how valuable it is to have an athlete like Caitlin bring her audience into women's golf, and how much that crossover can grow the game. That's the part the doubters never quite understood. They said she was a distraction. They complained about commercials, appearances, golf events. They wanted her to pick one lane and stay in it. But this is the lane. Caitlin isn't just a point guard. She is a force that amplifies whatever game she walks into. While critics questioned her focus, she was out here doing 3 things at once, showing she's healthy enough to compete again, respecting another sport by playing at a solid level after months away from golf, and using her platform to shine a bigger light on women's sports. After the round, Caitlin talked about feeling 100% healthy. No excuses, no still working back, just excitement to compete again. On grass now, and soon on hardwood. With international duties and another WNBA season ahead, the message was simple. Her body is back, and so is her edge. That's why this little round wasn't little at all. It wasn't just about scorecards, formats, or pro-am prizes. It was about reminding everyone that even when she steps away, the magnetism doesn't fade. She can disappear from the court, show up at a golf event, and instantly turn it into must-see TV. If this is Caitlin Clark when she's supposedly rusty, imagine her back in a packed arena with a ball in her hands and a full season in front of her. The doubters aren't just wrong, they're late. From a nervous opening swing on a crowded first tee to a called shot bomb on the 10th that sent the crowd into a frenzy, Caitlin Clark turned a quiet Wednesday Pro-Am into another chapter in her comeback story. The sport was different. The stakes were softer. But the message was loud. If you're still watching, drop Annika comeback in the comments so we know you're riding with Caitlin all the way back.